All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a CEO's most critical job. And, it's probably not what you think. It has nothing to do with this quarter's profits, but it has everything to do with the future. It's really all about building a legacy that lasts long, long after they're gone.
So, let me just ask you this. When you think of a CEO, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably hitting quarterly targets, right? Or navigating crazy market shifts, making those huge, splashy deals. And yeah, all that stuff is absolutely crucial. But what's their single most critical long-term job?
Well, the answer really isn't about today at all. It's about tomorrow. A CEO's ultimate responsibility is to build this bridge to the future, right? To make sure the organization can thrive long after they've moved on. And that is the core idea we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so here's how we'll break it down. First, we'll talk about why this is such a high-stakes handover. Then, we'll dive into the 4 key roles a CEO has to play: the architect, the driver, the mentor, and the balancer.
Okay, so first things first, why does this matter so much? Look, a leadership transition, it's a huge moment. It can be a massive opportunity, for sure, but it's also packed with immense risk. Get it wrong and you can totally disrupt the culture, stall the entire strategy. You can send shockwaves through a company that lasts for years. So how do you avoid all that chaos? Well, the key is building what's called a succession pipeline. And listen, the most important word here is proactive. This isn't some last-minute scramble when a CEO announces they're retiring. No way. It's a deliberate, ongoing strategy to find and grow that next generation of leaders from right inside the company. And that brings us to the first really crucial role the CEO has to play. They need to put on their architect's hat, They've got to become the architect of the future, the one who designs the actual blueprint for the company's long-term leadership. And think about it, the CEO's role here is totally unique. Why them? Because they've got that 30,000-foot view, right? They understand the strategy, the culture, the future needs in a way nobody else really can. They're the only one who can actually design the complete architecture for a strong pipeline.
So, how do they actually do it? Well, it pretty much boils down to 3 key steps. First, they have to figure out what kind of leaders are we going to need 5-10 years from now. Then, second, they've got to actively look around and identify the high potential folks inside the company who could grow into those roles. And finally, step 3, they help create clear, real-world pathways for that talent to get the exact experience they need to succeed.
But look, a brilliant blueprint is totally useless if it just sits on a desk collecting dust, right? This is where the CEO has to switch hats. They go from being the architect to our second role, the driver, the person responsible for actually making this whole plan a reality. Any plan needs an engine to make it go, and the CEO is that engine. They have to be the one actively driving the process. That means making it a top priority, asking the tough questions, and sending a clear signal to everyone that developing talent, that's everyone's job. It's not just something you push off to HR. And a huge part of being the driver, it's making sure everybody is on the same page. The CEO has to get the board fully aligned with that long-term vision. They need to work, hand in glove with the HR department to actually get the plan done. And, this is huge, they have to talk to the emerging leaders themselves, so these future stars actually understand the path that's laid out for them. All this talk about communication and development, it brings us to the third role. And this one might just be the most personal, and maybe the most impactful of them all, the mentor. See, this is the human element. You just can't delegate this stuff. A CEO's personal investment makes all the difference. When they're mentoring those up-and-coming leaders, it's not just about passing on skills, no. It's about giving them challenging assignments, providing brutally honest feedback, and really going to bat for them in those high-level talks. What they're really doing is passing on wisdom, perspective, and the company's core values. It's like a direct transfer of leadership DNA. Okay, so now for the final, and maybe the most difficult challenge of all. All of this, all of it, has to happen in the middle of the day-to-day chaos of just running the business. This brings us to the CEO's fourth hat, the balancer, the one who's constantly performing this great balancing act. And here's the ultimate challenge, right? On one side, you've got what they call the tyranny of the urgent, the daily crises, the market shifts, those quarterly reports, all of it is just screaming for attention right now. But on the other side, you have this quiet but profound importance of the long-term vision. A truly great CEO, they master the demands of today without ever losing sight of that vital work of building for tomorrow.
So let's wrap this all up. A CEO's role in succession planning, it's really a masterclass in leadership. They have to wear 4 different hats, right? They've got to be the architect, designing the future, the driver, pushing that plan forward, the mentor, personally investing in their people, and finally, the balancer, skillfully managing that constant tension between today and tomorrow.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. What is a leader's true legacy at the end of the day? Is it just about the profits they made while they were in charge? Or is it really found in the strength and the vision of the successors they leave behind to take their place? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.